Kerry Boulton is Australia's most respected exit strategy advisor and CEO of the Exit Strategy Group. Welcome to this week's segment.
This is an interesting one that I'd like to chat about with you. And what happens when your business changes? Say, for instance, you have already defined a finish line. In other words, you've figured out the end game that you had in mind, and then suddenly the business changes. You know, an opportunity comes along for you to grow your business, perhaps through an acquisition or perhaps through a merger. I'm talking here about a case where you may have 3 or 4 partners in the business, and this is all very hypothetical, but say, for instance, you have someone who is, closer to 60, and then you might have 2 or 3 other shareholders who are, say, much younger and in their 40s and have different needs and different aspirations for the business. So what happens when an opportunity like an acquisition comes along? You decide as a business that you're going to grow the business, and therefore your original thinking changes, because now all of a sudden you have a new lease on life, and this often happens when you do have new business opportunities come into play, and you've suddenly doubled the size of the business. So it's really important in that process to actually think about what's your new finish line, and not just take for granted that what was in place previously is actually going to stay that way. So do you need a new exit plan? You do. You need to think about it. You need to think about the individual needs and wants of the people who are the current shareholders, and what they each have in mind. These are often considered to be on the back burner, or they're not even thought about, or they might be the elephant in the room that no one wants to talk about. Well, I would really encourage you to include that thinking in your whole process when you look at growing your business, whether it be through an acquisition or a merger or through something of that nature, so that you do take into account everybody's personal requirements. The last thing you'd really want to have to face would be a challenge to the business because you haven't addressed that particular issue. I'm sure that you have thought about shareholder agreements, buy-sell agreements, and matters of that nature, particularly contingency plans if somebody really changes and maybe one of the older shareholders just decides that they want out, and because they're mentally checking out of the business. These are really key issues for you to address when you're thinking about and defining a new finish line for your own business.
If you don't have a copy of Kerry's new book, The Uncensored Truth About Exit Strategies, please visit freeexitstrategybook.com.au.